Hello students, welcome back to the first SEM English language course. I am Dr. Vidya Patil and I am going to be your teacher for this SEM. In the previous two videos, we have understood what is active listening, why it plays such an important role in our lives, how active listening can help us to become successful. We have also seen how active listening can be developed and displayed by using both verbal as well as non-verbal signs. In the previous video, we discussed about what are the verbal ways in which we can show that we are actively listening to the speaker. In today's video, we will try to find out what are the non-verbal ways of showing that we are paying attention to the speaker and also how displaying these non-verbal cues can help us better understand the process of communication. Listening is one of the most fundamental aspects of interpersonal relationships. A person who can listen actively and attentively can develop good relations with the people around him. Listening is something which takes place consciously. You have to consciously decide that you are going to pay attention to what the speaker is saying and try your best to understand it properly. While you are listening, it is preferable that you don't come to conclusions or form judgments in the initial stages of the conversation. You need to be as neutral as possible while listening because it is only then that you will be able to understand not only what the speaker is saying but the intent and purpose of the speaker. Therefore, active listening doesn't merely involve paying full attention and giving your focus on the speaker, but also showing your verbal and non-verbal signs of listening. When the speaker is able to see these verbal and non-verbal signs of listening, then he will be reassured that you are not only listening and paying attention to the speaker, but also making an attempt to understand the speaker. Let us now try and understand some of the non-verbal signs which are commonly used by most people while they are actively listening. It is not necessary that everyone will show all these signs. Also, some of these signs may be suitable in a particular context and some may not be so. So, it is left to the person who is listening to decide which of these signs of listening he would like to display and which he would not like to. Let us now try to look at and understand one of the first non-verbal signs of listening, that is to nod. Generally, when you are actively listening, it is preferable if you can give a simple nod which shows that you are following what the speaker is saying. A nod may not necessarily mean that you agree with the speaker, but it displays that you are able to understand what the speaker is saying. Another important non-verbal sign of active listening is smiling. You can use small, simple smiles in order to show that you agree with the speaker or that you are able to follow and understand the speaker. When you combine smiling along with nodding, it is a positive affirmation of the fact that you are listening to the speaker attentively and understanding what he is saying. A smile can also take the place of a small verbal affirmation. Also, if the speaker falters or there is a situation of tension which is created, A smile can give confidence back to the speaker and make him feel comfortable. Another essential nonverbal sign is the eye contact. Whenever you are trying to actively listen to someone, it is necessary that you maintain eye contact with the person who is speaking so that the person realizes that you are paying attention to him. Usually, when you are maintaining eye contact, you should be careful that you don't intimidate the speaker. That is, the duration of your eye contact should not be so much that the speaker may feel intimidated by you. Generally, you need to follow the socially acceptable norms of the area where you are, and depending on that, maintain the kind of eye contact. When you combine eye contact with smiles, it encourages the speaker and makes the speaker feel comfortable. The posture of both the speaker and the listener play an important role in conveying their attention or their involvement in the process of communication. A listener who is listening attentively to the speaker will usually bend slightly forward or slightly to the side. He'll also have his head in a slanting position and sometimes may even be resting his chin on his hand. So, paying attention to the speaker can be displayed through the posture which you maintain. Another important aspect of non-verbal signs of active listening is mirroring. Mirroring is nothing but the automatic reflection of facial expressions of the speaker. So, when you are attentively listening to the speaker and you understand the message which is given by the speaker, or when you are able to relate to the speaker, you unconsciously mirror or reflect the same facial expressions which are being displayed by the speaker. This displays a sense of empathy. Therefore, showing or displaying or mirroring the same facial expressions is a sign of active and attentive listening. If you consciously decide to mimic the speaker, then this is not a positive sign and will not be taken well by the speaker. Another nonverbal sign of attentive listening is to avoid distractions. Generally, an attentive listener will not display any kind of distractions. So, an attentive listener will not be found to be fidgeting or playing with his pen or hair or looking at the watch or doodling. So, it is better that you avoid any source of distraction, and when you are listening, try not to use your phone or mobile. Also, it is better to focus on the communication which is taking place, to focus on the speaker. An attentive listener should avoid exchanging verbal or non-verbal cues with the other listeners or with other members of the audience, because this can prove to be very frustrating for the speaker. It is preferable if you can have a notepad with you and jot down the important points. Otherwise, it is best to avoid all other sorts of distraction. By implementing these various verbal and non-verbal signs of active listening, your communication process will improve, and if you implement these techniques into your future conversations, you will be able to understand others better, and you will be able to collect better information and also develop better relationships with others. Active listening needs a lot of practice. Being able to listen actively and attentively and to display the right kind of verbal and non-verbal signs needs practice. As you keep on using these techniques, it will become a part of your regular process of communication and will seem to be very natural. So, learning active listening skills is quite easy but needs a lot of practice. So, very briefly, let us just have a look at all the various verbal and non-verbal signs of active listening which we have been discussing about. So, we need to focus on whatever is being said. We need to tell the speaker that whether you have understood or you have not able to understand certain points. You need to ask questions which are quite relevant to the topic which is being discussed. You should ignore distractions and concentrate fully on the speaker. You should keep your hands and feet still and not keep fidgeting in your seat. You should repeat back whatever you have heard or try to summarize it in your own words. You should wait for the speaker to stop before you start speaking. Never interrupt the speaker while he is speaking. Nodding your head can show that you are following whatever is being said. Always face the speaker and maintain eye contact with the speaker. These are various ways which will reassure the speaker that you are an active listener. Till now, we have understood about what is active listening and what are the various non-verbal signs of an active listener. Learning the skill of active listening will surely benefit you because it will not only help you understand the message which is being given to you and process the information properly, but it will also create a favorable opinion about you with the speaker, and it will help you develop better interpersonal relationships with others. An active listener is usually very popular and people like to maintain relations with an active listener. So, learning active listening is going to be a very fruitful task. So, learning active listening is going to be very useful for you. In the next video, we will try to find out certain activities which you can involve in order to learn the art of listening. I hope you like this video. Thank you.